Hey guys, welcome to True Latinos. I'm your host Rolando Quispe, and my other partner is, or my co-host,
Lehi, co-host.
not partner.
Yeah,
Although I know you guess what since you were 15 or 16.
about that. It's been a journey, dude.
It's crazy now that you moved to Arizona, and I'm still stuck in Georgia. But you know, we talk about this a lot in terms of reminiscing, like True Latinos, and what like actually means, and where it come from. So I don't know if you want to explain it, like how. I actually don't know how it started. Like, was it you that created the name?
I don't remember at this point. I think it was. I don't know, man. It was interesting because we just kind of like were goofing around all the time, and it was just something that just came up. I think we were like driving in the car, and then it became like a thing where it's just like, oh, we can create this, we can make this like into videos, into like YouTube, into all this stuff, and I think we like got inspiration from other YouTubers to maybe create something that wasn't available at that time, like especially for the Latino culture, it wasn't really like recognized. So yeah, I think that's where it came about. It was just more of like doing it. We were trying to be true to ourselves, right, so to say, and then
Yeah, I,
yeah,
I think like some more adding more background to people that haven't listened to it. Or have followed us since the beginning. We started 2011, I believe,
yeah,
and it was around the time where social media is still kind of new, and it was back
yeah.
when YouTube was in parodies, doing a lot of parodies, right?
The Vine, yes, Vine, the
Vine or
app.
parodies,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh, dude, yes.
So I think I remember we were in the car and you saw this one song, right? And you started doing just a riff off it, with your own version, you're spinning. And I'm like, dude, this is pretty good. And for those who don't know, that Lehi can sing. He's a really good singer, and
Oh,
he always does things like that too. And I told him like, yo, bro, let's actually make a song. Like, it sounds pretty good.
yeah.
And he at first, like, Lehi tends to agree to everything. Like, yeah, I'm down, whatever. But you don't follow through. Let's be real.
No, no, I've had where I just procrastinate, I guess you can say. And then at that moment, I'm so hyped up about something that I'm inspired to do, and then I realize the work and the progress that it takes, and so you're just kind of like, I kind of always back down. But I have been better at not doing that anymore. But it was, and it was hard for Rolando to create stuff with me because I would always kind of like procrastinate or not like wave it off. So it was just hard to kind of meet in the middle because you don't have anybody to match your energy. So yes,
Yeah, and I was just down because, like, honestly, it was during the time I was in college, right?
yeah,
And I was really wanting to doing video production. Oh,
yes, I do remember that.
so
Yeah,
yeah, so that was the whole thing, right? And I was like, yo, bro, I really thought it was a good idea. I was like, yo, it's really good entertaining. And like, so I remember we were at
the idea
church.
was great. The
Yeah,
idea was great. Like
oh,
for that time, it was.
and for those who don't know, we made a parody off "I Want to Be a Millionaire," right, or billionaire
I want to be a billionaire,
for Bruno
and it
Mars.
was I want to be legalized. Oh
Yeah, that was the
man,
title. I want to be legalized, right?
but I feel like at that time it was because also due to like the the crisis with the immigration and all of that stuff. I think it was like a good topic to talk about and make like kind of make fun of it, but at the same time the realization of it. So it's just a little bit of both. But yeah, and that's where it came to be, like where it was just like, oh, this is pretty funny, or this is fun. Like we should keep doing this, and then from there it kind of grew, and we tried to try to bring everybody in, like from church, you know,
Oh
like
yeah.
all of our friends to like be part of it, and so it was a fun experience.
We did it on the first video. I tried to bring everybody
Yeah.
in, right?
Yep. Yep.
And nobody had no clue like what to do or never been on camera or anything like that. And we honestly like we did it
Oh
so
my
not
gosh.
ratchety, but just like so disorganized.
Oh,
There's a
very.
there was no storyboard, there was no like, hey, location. We did everything on the spot, just like, oh, here's a location we can do, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And for those of you that haven't seen the video yet, I think it's still up in our Instagram page, like the full video.
It was. Whenever I opened up that Instagram page, I couldn't believe the amount of stuff you still had on there. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh. I was just like, wow. We both, looking back at, like I said, like the technology that was available, the video cameras, the quality of it, we didn't really have a lot to work with. It was
No,
literally all by hand scratch, like man, like just editing with Adobe, and sometimes not even Adobe. Sometimes it was just like other like
no,
free
bro.
applications.
We were broke. Well, bro, we were broke, bro. Like, so, like, I couldn't afford Premiere. I had
Yes.
some like secondhand program because it was my on my old ass computer too that kept crashing because the software was too
bro.
advanced. So I mean, and the camera itself like was expensive. It like back in the day too, like 2011, a
Oh yeah, dude.
1080 HP camera was pretty pricey, like $300 $400. And
Yeah,
I was a broke college student, you know.
yeah. No, same here, bro. I mean, not a college student, but broke always.
Oh man, and I'm happy that we did it just because people don't know that we reached I think like 30,000 or 40,000 views on the video.
We did. We did. And you actually, I think I remember you telling me that you had a professor, somebody reach out to
Oh
use the
yeah.
video.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, they messaged
And
us on
I couldn't
YouTube.
believe it. I was like, wait, what? Really? He's like, yeah. And then they used the video for like a presentation that they had to.
It was a study, Latinos in the media. I remember that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember you helping me out. Was it you that helped me out with do video as well? Because, like I said, like we were trying to get into it. And I created a music video called Young Love.
Uh,
And then like it kind of helped me with that when I was in school. We had like a program for that, and it helped out like kind of like teaching you how to like do with editing and all of that. And like I said, bro, the cameras was just the quality wasn't that good, but like it's like that. I think that's what makes our generation more appreciative, and we can kind of still maneuver and still do really great content because we know how to like move things around. Like we don't just expect, I guess, the app to do everything for us. We
right.
kind of we gotta know how to transition. We gotta know how to do all this, like all these little things that like are detailed matter that actually make the video or whatever we're doing actually good. It's like we know what the efforts are to make that happen.
It was honestly like it's also different environment too. Like nowadays, the youth is more of like the TikTok kind of less attention span, right? Where a parody gets
That's
to
what I was
like
about to say. Yeah,
the parody is kind of like a 3 minute video, right? And it's kind of storytelling too. Like
it
we
is.
I think at the very end we put a couple
We
of
had
friends
bloopers.
in the DACA van, right? Or the
Yes,
ice van. There, not DACA, the
the
ice van. Yeah,
ice fan. That was, oh man. And then we had one of our friends put on the vest. It was a
yeah,
weighted vest, and then we just put a tape that says ice. That shit's good, bro. And then we would actually go to the actual locations of like where more of the Hispanic community was at and just kind of film it there. You had to write a story about it. Now it's just more of like quick attention span. Like it's like, is this video capturing my eye within the first few seconds? If not, then I'm just gonna keep swiping.
exactly, right.
You know?
So I mean, even then, I think like we've always been hitting these trends in terms of like we've been too far, into the future, but we never consistently put it out, which is why I feel like we didn't grow. Because I remember we were on a trip to Florida, you told
Yeah.
me that one of the bigger Latino channels reposted our video.
Yes, yeah, it was the Being Latino, which is I think still popular now. I don't know if they were able to keep up with like the trends and all that, but I remember at that time it was, dude. It was freaking hilarious. Like Juan, I believe one of our friends, Juan, he's the one that thing told me that we were like, hey, we're viral, and I was like, what? Nah, I was like, and he goes, no, yeah, we're viral. Like we got millions of views. I was like, no, we don't. And then he sent me the link, I think, and then I clicked on it, and then I opened it, and it was like, yeah, if we did. It was at Walmart, and we were freaking like just pretending to do the measurements of the Hispanics, how we do the measurements instead of just like the actual measuring tape. We just put our elbow in and then
Yeah.
have our arm out, and then from there, if it fits, that means it'll fit you. So that's it. And then it exploded because a lot of people, I guess, I didn't realize how many people could relate to that,
And it
and
was
it
so
was a
like
lot.
it was on the moment when we created
It
that. We're
was.
like,
It was.
yo,
We
let's
were
just
on vacation. We were actually literally just there to shop, and then an idea came up, and we're like, "Should we shoot it?" We're like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's shoot it." And that's when I think we had posted up on Vine because
we
Vine
did.
was very popular, and it was like a 6 second video, right? So before not just people understand, Vine was it. TikTok is like basically what Vine was trying to be or was,
Yeah.
but now it just I don't know why. I guess they got bought out. I don't know what the case was with
Well, they
Vine.
couldn't make money. Like they couldn't
Oh,
monetize it. That was the whole issue, right?
okay,
It was a 6 seconds. What can you do with 6 seconds?
it's true.
So
And it's like versus now, I guess with TikTok, you can do more than 6 seconds.
well, you can do
You know?
ads now too. Yeah, it's like 30
Yeah,
seconds, I
that is
think.
true.
You can
Yeah.
do ads
Yep.
now, so they know how to monetize it as well.
Yeah. So it sucks because it's like Vine was just like where all these famous people that people know now, like King Batch and all of them are,
Oh, Logan, that guy Logan, right? And his
Logan
brother.
Paul,
They
yeah,
started
Logan
from
and Jake
Vine too.
Paul,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody comes
Wow.
from Vine, mainly that are still, pursuing it. But yeah, I guess it's crazy to think that Vine could still be here if, like you said, like it was they knew how to like advertise or they were able to do that, and TikTok would never really exploded like it did. It would just be a secondary app video that you can do stuff on if it were to come to be. But it's just interesting, man. Like how just back then it was just more of like, do you want to like like it was innovating back then, I guess, to like make videos like that quickly. But now it's just so I'm walking down the street and I have like I see people with the selfie sticks or like
Really?
just like vlogging. Yeah, it's a very like, especially here because it's like a college area where I live at. So it's just like a lot of people are like always like and videos or anything. It's just like it's like the norm now. But I remember back then for us when we had a video camera out, it was just like
It's embarrassing, bro.
yeah, yes,
I was
yes,
embarrassed,
bro.
like, oh
People
shoot, like what do you want to do?
people would walk by staring so hard, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just like now you kind of walk by them because you know what they're doing, but you don't really care. You're just like, okay,
Yeah, it's
it's like the
normal
norm
now.
now.
It's normal. But remember when we shot your music video in my college campus? Well, and back in the day, I don't like I said, well, I was broke. I didn't
Oh
have money, so I had like a
man,
stand. So I didn't have like a handheld stand.
no, bro,
We
you
had a
were literally holding it
tripod.
like this, man.
Yeah, a
You were just like,
tripod, just like yeah, just like. Oh man.
it's so good. No, but
Yeah.
hey, bro, we had to do what we had to do.
And I remember this white kid, right? He came up to us and was like, "Yeah, what you doing?" Asking more questions about it. Like we're filming is like, "Oh, can I help?" Whatever. I don't know. He's just being very nosy. I'm like, "Oh, dude, leave me alone." It's like in the middle of January. I'm cold. I'm sitting on a
It
tripod.
was freaking cold, dude.
Yeah.
It was fun though. Like it was cool that we were able to use that area. We just had to really think of like where can we do these videos. It wasn't like, and it went in a lot of places it wasn't allowed. I feel like now since vlogging and video streaming is so popular now, it's like more like it's allowed in different more spaces. But like before it wasn't. Before it was just
Yeah.
like more of like an invasion of your privacy. You
Exactly.
could
You need
say like
permission
people,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was a fun time though because it's like it was a whole different way of doing things. Like ideas were fresh and new. Like now that now when I see people doing like creating content, I'm like, man, we used to do that. But like you said, if we were more consistent and also money had to play a lot on it. It's like we were still like just out of high school, if not in high school, and we were like still doing these things, and it was just like we didn't know, like we life was still like starting for us and stuff. So
Yeah, man, and it always sucks for me because I'm like, dude, we could have done it so much. Because you're a very creative person, to be honest. Like,
we could have it, and that's the kind of like like people like to live on that what if, and sometimes it sucks because it's like it kind of like drags on. It's just like anything, like just like you say, like I know how to sing, and like what if like had I like still kind of pursued music, and then like I saw a video today with a rapper named Tyler the Creator,
mhm,
and he said that you never know who's listening. So even though you only get a few plays on your video when you of somebody rapping or singing, that it's okay because you're building your resume.
that's true.
And it's just like you just don't know who on YouTube or somebody's watching that video and then they hit you up. You know what I'm saying? So you just, even though you didn't get, keep posting, keep posting, keep posting. So it's just like kind of hit because I was like, damn, that's true. It's just like, but you can't live as I get older. You can't live with the what if. It's like we're not old still. Like we're not too old to try to like continue on where we left off. So it was just like more like now that we kind of know what to expect, it's like let's just try to be consistent and see where it goes. And
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you can do. It's just like we can't reminisce in the past, but it's fun to think about the past though. To to know that we actually made videos, to know that we actually made the effort, to know what it was to actually do things like that. So I think it's helped us do this right now what we're doing with the podcast, and it's like giving it a go because we kind of know what we're doing in a sense, and it's just like what to expect, and it just the experiences and everything that we can talk about. I think is what makes this podcast, or it will be making this podcast like really fun and entertaining to like watch and
yeah,
stuff.
man, and it's also a good time for me to catch up with you because, like I said,
Exactly.
you're in Arizona,
Yeah.
I'm in Georgia, and like
Yeah.
we're busy. We're adults now. We have our own lives, so we don't get to talk to as
Yes.
much anymore. So
It is true. I think that's how this whole thing started. The idea, right, is when one day we were talking, and then we were just like, dude, like True Latinos, and then the podcast is like, oh, like why don't we just try it? And we're like, that way we can kind of still like catch up on our life what we're doing, and then also just like create content what we're doing. I mean, it's what we do anyways. Like
Yeah.
last time, I think we talked for like an hour and a half. You know,
Dude, we talked like
just
3 hours before, like
do it.
4
Yeah,
hours. So
bro.
like, bro,
It's
what
just
time
like
has gone by?
I didn't even talk to my wife like that, bro, on the phone, bro. To be real with you, bro, it's just like it's like yo, it's just like time goes by, man. Time goes by whenever you like catch up, and it's just like, and the best part is like you pick up like you never left. Because like we could talk, we don't have we don't talk for like a week or two, like a month or 2 months, and then when we do, it's like we just pick up where we left off.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's like that's the fun part. I feel like that's why this I think this podcast will be fun and entertaining because we just have always things to talk about, like topics, especially what's happening around the world today. It's just like it's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, and I feel like giving a spin towards like Latino outlook in terms of like
Yeah,
it's also again it's a different topic for a different podcast, but like in terms
yeah,
of like I really want to talk about like there's different types of Latinos, There's not,
absolutely.
and especially you because you live in Arizona, and when I visited you this year, there were so many Latinos, bro. I was like, what the hell?
When I moved to Arizona, it definitely was like, even for me to say, right, it's like a culture shock, was because it's like in Georgia, it's like more, I want to say like diverse. There's like a little bit more of everything, like
Mhm.
every culture. Here there is too, but it's not like, it's just more Hispanic, more like Mexican American based.
Well,
And it's like,
I feel like Georgia is known for like black people, right?
yes.
So I feel like Arizona just replaced black people with Mexicans. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bro.
I just what I did. That's how I felt.
I think that's when I realized, I think like it was just like, damn, it's like, yeah, Atlanta has more like like more blacks and like mixed with Hispanics and everything, but more of that culture up there versus here in Arizona. It's all, even though you're like, you know, even though you're still in the United States, it's like it's more like you feel like you're sort of like in Mexico.
Mm,
It's like it's and it's also the food. The food, I do miss a lot of food in Georgia
really?
because here is just like, yeah, here is like it's mainly like Mexican food. You're
Yeah,
always gonna like
that's
find
true.
Mexican food. Like you'll find here and there like a few places like Indian food or like Chinese food, but it's not like, and for me personally, like in Georgia, where it was just like you had those like very good popular spots, or you had a lot of popular spots to
Yeah,
choose from. Here
very
it's just like
diverse.
you have to like drive out really far to like go to those places. Like they're not here in the city for whatever reason. So me and my wife have always been talked about that. We're like just about like how it's definitely a shock when you come here.
Hmm.
It's like it's more Latinos than I expected. I've enjoyed my time in Arizona for sure. It's just like I knew I needed something new to like come up and live over here and
Hmm.
kind of restart again. You know, it was just like I think I hit like a roadblock in Atlanta. Like as much as growing as I could do there, and then I came over here for an opportunity, and yeah, man, it's
Well, the
it's it's
thing is,
it's, it's been fun.
people don't know that, and I don't know if you want me to tell them, but like you came here through work, and your work is
Yeah,
actually in media,
yeah,
so it's actually back to where we started, right? And
yeah. I think we once like you fall in love with something, it's like you kind of just want to stick to it, you know. And it was just like I got an opportunity to work for like a big like a good company, and like and this especially like it has to do with sports as well. And so it's just like it was just a great opportunity. I couldn't like take like I got a call at my during my honeymoon when we were in Puerto Rico, and I got a call there. Like I me personally, I didn't think I was gonna get the job because like I said, I don't have any college experience. I just kind of applied because I was just like, fuck it, why not? I applied, and then the next couple like weeks, I got the call, and then that right there was an interview, and then they emailed me, and then they were like, we would like to go proceed you to the next interview, and it happened so quickly. But I feel like sometimes word of advice to everybody that's like the younger Latino crowd, right? That is like maybe watching this and maybe can like learn something is like don't be afraid to kind of like step out of your comfort zone because like I was so afraid to do that because I was just so comfortable where I was at in my life that I was just like, why move? And then when I hit like like I said a wall with my work about pay and all that, I was just like, why not? And then it was like one of the best decisions I ever made. So if you're watching this and then you're in a point in your life where you're kind of like I don't know where to do, just kind of step out of your comfort zone. If you can go to a different state or go apply for that job that you feel like you won't get because that shows that person or that job that you're interested in. You never know. Sometimes I feel like nowadays, and I know this is very controversial, which would be a good topic to talk about as well, is you don't need a college degree sometimes for some of these jobs.
Yep.
It's like it depends on like what obviously a lawyer, a doctor, you need a degree, right? That's no questions because you need to learn a lot. But when it comes to the future and like it's just more of like who you know, and it's just about talking to people. It's all about talking. If you can be able to communicate with people and talk, you can get connections, and that's
Hmm.
what it's all about. It's like word of mouth, and that's how Rooney Boy here, Ron helped me like discover that media by hooking me up with a job,
Oh,
like because
my nickname is also Ron. Listeners know because
sorry,
you
that's why I
didn't.
said Ron again, so that way you can
Yeah,
edit that
yeah,
out
but you
if you need to.
pointed though, but we're in a podcast. Like people can't see the point.
Ron
Sorry, I
was
didn't mean to cut you off. My
Ron
bad.
was no, you good. Like I said, he introduced me to a job, which was funny because I applied. Was it 2 times and I didn't get the job?
Bro, 3 or 4 times, man. Like I batted for you so hard. Like I was. It just like I said, you didn't
Oh
have your
man,
resume wasn't like look good, right?
no,
So all I had to do was
no,
trust from like my word of mouth, my recommendation, right?
and that's where I feel like that getting comfortable talking to people helps because on the resume is just paper, right? And sometimes you can't really be like you can't really show who you are. But once you go to the interview and it's like one on one and you're in person, that's when it shows. And that's how I feel like I was able to get that job was because I was able to get along with the manager and we got along. Yeah, we got along
Yeah.
and at that point I guess it sort of didn't really matter that I didn't have too much experience. They were willing to teach me.
Yeah.
And I got called out. Remember one of the managers there that he was kind of like mean? He sat down next to me and I tried to put a he asked me to
Oh
do a
yeah.
because I said that I know how to do it, and then he like told me okay, and then he sat there, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I think that's when I didn't get the job that first time.
Oh, so you
So
lied. You stupid.
I lied, bro.
No, that guy was no. I know exactly what you're
The
talking
guy with
about,
the
man. Like
glasses.
when
Yeah.
when he interviewed me, bro, like he's just like muy frio, right? He was very cold.
Yes, bro.
And he's very serious, and like
Yes.
he was also he was American. He really wasn't Latino because I want to get some more background information for you guys. That the company we were applying to, or Lehi was applying to, was it was Fox, a part of 21st Century Fox Latin division, Latin branch.
Yeah, Fox Networks Group.
So most of the people working there spoke Spanish and they were Latino,
Yep.
and so but the media manager at that time, he was an American dude, and it's very very serious. Couldn't really joke around with him, just cold humor. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know
like
exactly what you're talking
it's
about.
but it like I said, like that opportunity there like opened up like a whole like of like what could be, right? But it's just I always thought growing up that I needed a college education,
Yeah.
and so like I said, like it's just, and then from there the media, like I said, like I think Ron and I have always like liked or enjoyed media, like filming, like just creating. It's just been like something that we knew like we've always enjoyed, and then like I said, when we got the chance to make those funny skits and parodies were not a thing back then. And then I think that we kind of like were the first ones to just do the pioneering of like of parodies. Like we did like the Bruno Mars, the Danza Kuduro, Don Omar, and it was just like fun things. I feel like now it's just like it's made now, but like I said, like we were trying to build something, but we were just too young and just too naive to understand like the consistency that it took, I guess,
I mean, because
to
it was a lot of work though.
it was a lot of work. It was
It
a
was
lot
a
of
lot
like
of work.
kind of doing it's a job. It's a job. It's just like you have to be consistent every single day to post, every single day to have something like you said in advance, like make maybe a few videos in advance to like have just in case, like in the buffer. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And we just didn't, or at least I didn't know like that we had to do that. So it was just it was definitely like I said, a lot of a learning experience, but it was just like enjoyable. And that's the thing, like that that I feel like that's why we're here right now doing this podcast is because we still kind of have that passion, that love for it. And it was like it never kind of like left us, and we would always just like bring it back up when we were conversating on the phone and be like, hey, you remember this, you remember that. And then I remember you tried doing a podcast, before you wanted to do a podcast on. It's just like, why not, we can do it together because we can always just talk for days about anything, bro. It
Hmm.
just flows. So I think this is definitely like something that can grow if we're just consistent with it. So I'm
Mhm.
excited.
Yeah, man. And honestly, like, I guess you didn't realize this because I was doing more of the production side of things.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I have a crappy computer and it's just editing after editing. Sometimes it just goes slow down.
Yep.
It was just really difficult to keep up with it. And the parody kind of sucks too because not only did we have to edit the video, we had to edit the audio, and
The
record it.
audio, we had to record like music.
Yeah.
Like we literally had to do like record the music, then put it on the video, then sync it up, then kill all the background noise and
hmm
do all this other stuff. Like, yeah, it was it was producing and directing, bro. Everything.
it was a whole. I mean, personally, I like the production side of things. I don't like being on camera.
I know you don't. I know.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, like, bro, you never wanted to be on the camera. You never wanted to be on the skits. You just wanted to always be just behind the camera. But I told you, bro, you're funny. You're funny too.
Yeah, it's not for me, bro. Honestly, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone because I do
Yeah.
realize that. For those who don't know, also like I am starting a marketing agency. Unlike Lehi, after you know Disney had bought Fox, my
Mm.
branch was shut down.
Yep.
So it was a perfect opportunity for me to shift careers. So I went from media to marketing, and I've been doing marketing ever since. So
Yep.
now I'm at the point where we're like, yo, just let me create my own agency, right? So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Can't lift it off, and it's a lot of hard work. And in order to promote, because I'm doing marketing, I have to do videos, and I've been slowly doing that. And my agency, honestly, is for Latino businesses. It could be for any business, but I prefer Latino business because
Right.
Latinos don't really have that mindset of digital marketing. They have more of a traditional marketing side where it's like like benches, balloons, word of mouth kind of thing, or like what's it called, business cards, like very old school
Yeah.
tactics, right? Where
Yeah, for sure.
digital marketing is more of like you can grab somebody on off online, right? And I've helped one of our friends out as well as my mom. She owns her own business and other people too within their marketing journey, and like they've seen results, so which makes me happy, and it makes me more happy for them because like they don't know, like there was so much information I had to explain to one of our friends, right?
Yeah.
Business on how marketing works, and he was like, "Oh, what I personally thought that everybody would know, something basic, they didn't understand."
No.
I'm like,
No.
"Oh, okay, interesting."
No, dude, like props to you, bro. Cause like I said, like not it's not made for just like anything else. Like there's certain things that are not made for people. It's like I gave it a try to do the SEO, and when it was like, where nobody really knew about it, and it's hard, dude. It's you have to really be dedicated
Yeah,
to do that. Like it's something that you can say it's not enjoyable, but in the long run it pays off. It's just like, so props to you because you have helped, I know, a lot of people, and a lot of the Hispanic community does not know about it. And I know
mhm,
that people, even when we played soccer,
yeah,
like somebody would like walk up to you, and honestly, like playing sports as well is like good also networking, because I know that you've like met a few people there that was, you were able to maybe like try to get them started with it, that didn't know about it, and like, like and are making good money probably, like, so it's like props to you for doing that, because I know I can. It's hard. It's hard to be consistent, with something of that nature.
it's okay. So I chose the harder route, right?
Yeah.
Because honestly, doing my agency focusing more on Americans
Yeah.
much easier than focusing on Latinos, just because there's the whole education aspect of it.
Right. Right.
And and also Latino people tend not to think of like I don't want to downplay Latino people, but like in
No,
terms of
bro,
like
speak the truth,
le-
bro.
le-
That's what we're here for.
True
Speak the
Latinos.
truth, bro. Speak the truth that we Latinos are hardworking people.
We are.
Will never ask for a handout, pero we don't know how to finance our money, how to move our money around correctly. We rather be in an apartment of like with all our family, but have a nice ass like truck. Like me and for the Mexican, speaking me as a Mexican, I've noticed that we just want the lavish things, but but instead of putting all that money that we do in construction or whatever we do, we can reinvest it and make, like I'm saying, like our work ethic is there,
Yeah.
right? Latinos work ethics are there.
No
It's
doubt,
just we
no doubt.
we need to, and I think this is what like I like about the podcast too, is that we can talk about things like this as well. Like our generation, like where me and you are like, or you and I are like are sort of like first generation, not even first generation. I wasn't even born here. My
We're
kids will be,
immigrants, bro.
yeah, our kids will be first generation Americans. And like we didn't grow up like knowing about, or at least me, like about finances like that.
Same.
I
No,
didn't. I
my
could
parents still don't know. Like, I still teach them
no.
a lot of stuff that,
Exactly.
like, I'm like,
Exactly. And it's just like I feel like it's we as we talk, we get more into the podcast and more topics of that nature. It's just like I think it'll definitely help maybe somebody like that's listening that will, like they'll be like, oh, I didn't know about that, like, and they'll start looking up and doing research. And that's how change happens, bro. Like it's like doing things like this, like our podcast or whatever. Somebody like in the Hispanic community start doing things like that and reaching out, like people can like look us up, and it's just like, I don't know, it does
Yeah.
help some way, even if it's a small bit, it helps,
Well,
you
like
know.
you said, nobody, you don't know who's listening, right? Like in the beginning, you said
No,
that.
bro. No, it's just like, yeah, to us, we can look at it by views like anybody else does when they create maybe a video and they're like, oh, dude, I only got like 10 views on this and it's been up for months. But you don't know that one play that can change somebody's life or like somebody that needed it. You
Mhm.
never know. So why not do it, right? So yeah. But
It's
going off of what you were saying.
no, no,
Sorry.
no, no. I want to build off that. So, like, because I've been doing marketing for like almost 5 years now,
Yeah.
and I have made videos in the past, that to help those people, and they sometimes reach out to me it has like 100 or 200 views, so not a lot of
Yeah.
views, right?
Yeah.
But the people that reach out to me on LinkedIn or on YouTube, and they ask me for all these questions like, "Oh man, this is very helpful." And I was having imposter syndrome, getting a job and all that
It's
stuff, and
crazy.
marketing and all that stuff, and I feel good helping them out.
Yeah.
And of course, I should charge because my other marketing friends, they do charge for their advice and all that stuff. But
Right.
like to me, it's more of like I don't care, like I don't mind giving back because when I first started, like people, answered my questions, my marketing questions and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's same thing with the Latinos though. But Latinos, like I do have to make money because I am putting time and work into it.
Of
So I do have to
course.
charge
Of
them. So,
course.
but I still would feel better like if I'm helping them out in terms of like with
Exactly. And and
businesses.
and and they know when someone is genuinely trying to help them out. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, especially when it, and I think whenever you see like like un like Latino with Latino, it's more comfortable, and you know that they're kind of like they understand like where you're coming from, like you're like you the same background and everything. So like I don't feel like people when you charge them, they won't feel like they're getting scammed or something because it's like you're genuinely trying to help them out. So it's
Well, I
just like
try. I try because there are Latinos out there that do use that exactly what you said, right?
that is
Latinos
true.
trusting other Latinos, right? They take advantage of that and misuse their trust or like kind of scam them
Yeah,
out.
no, that is
Yeah,
true. That
and I
is
feel
true.
bad. I'm like, bro,
It's
why are
sad,
you
dude.
doing this, dude? Like,
It's
come on.
sad, and it be your own people, bro.
Yeah.
It be your own people sometimes, where it's just like it's like, why don't you want to see your community like succeed? I don't know, bro. Sometimes it's kind of mind boggling to me when I see stories like that on the news or whatever, and it's just like, why, why?
Like
I,
or like
I don't see the benefit
like
for you
what?
making a few bucks. Now it's just like you messed up somebody's life, or like just because you wanted a couple bucks, like quick money. It makes no sense, bro.
It's one of those things where like you kind of like there's bad people in all different type of communities. You can't really help it. But what's
Yeah,
worse is that because we don't really have representation in media for Latino people or anything like that in the news or
right,
whatever,
right.
that when something bad happens and it's kind of like let's say Americans, right? Like Americans looking like, oh, of course, because he's Latino, he would do that kind of thing. And we're like, no, bro, it's not.
Stereotypical.
Yeah, stereotypes, and they're like, that's not all Latinos. That's not
Right,
all we do. So
right.
it
No,
kind of
yeah,
sucks.
yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's what I'm very grateful for my parents for bringing me here, because it's like it's the opportunities that I will have, that I am having. I don't think in my country, in my home country of Mexico, I don't think I would have. It's
Same.
I especially because me and the job that I'm doing now,
Mhm.
I communicate with production in Mexico every single day.
Oh, cool.
And I always talk to people. They're like, "Hey, checking in for this live that we're gonna do, right? A show, a studio show." And I'm telling them, "Hey, how's it going?" Because you kind of build a friendship,
Do you say in
right?
Spanish or English?
In Spanish.
Spanish? Oh, really?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you use Mexican slangs or do you use like
yeah.
proper
Yeah,
Spanish?
because sometimes like I talk to people that are in LA and they're more Chicano, slang versus in Mexico, they're just pure like like in the Mexican slang.
Are they from
So
Mexico
it's just
City or like different other?
yeah, Mexico
Yeah.
City, Mexico
Okay.
City.
And
So
it's
it's just very like chilo, you can say.
okay, cool.
But
Because I actually learned all my Mexican stuff from you. Because like honestly, I don't know. The Mexican culture is totally different from me.
yeah, yeah, and
But
that's
wait,
another
guys.
topic. It's good to talk about too, bro. I got a lot of topics, bro. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, like it's just like, and I was saying like, and they always tell me how one girl that I talked to there, she says that she has to, after she gets off of work, she has to take a bus 2 hours out of the city
2 hours?
to go back home.
Damn.
2 hours, bro, because it's too expensive to live in Mexico City, where the office is at.
Is it because Mexico City is being gentrified?
Yeah,
That's
and
it?
Mexico City is like a lot of like it's being more Americanized for
Okay.
sure. You can say, well, it's not Americanized, but like just the industry is more like tech and it's like
Oh,
coming
okay.
and it's just
Tech.
like more,
That
it's
makes
just more
sense.
expensive. It's the city, right? It's just like,
Yeah.
and it's just like harder to live there. And so like they sometimes they have to take the bus and they have to take the bus at a certain time. So we have to do the studio shows at a certain time. If not, they have to find another way to go home because the
Damn.
bus doesn't pass after a certain time and stuff like that, right? So I think about that sometimes and I'm just like, it could be worse because I be telling them like at my job, you know how like I don't know, we have free Starbucks. So I don't really drink coffee, so I don't think. But for them, that's like amazing. We get like lunch made for us at work, and it's just like little things that when you grow up, you feel like it's normal, but it's a privilege to have,
It really is. Yeah.
right? I'm very grateful, and I just got to take the opportunity to like just keep going and like like helping others like understand like just take like I said before like take the job opportunity like apply, like
Yeah.
you don't know like until you try. So it's just like and just like you with your SEO, it was a hard, long way of doing it, but you're getting there. You're opening up your own SEO company, right?
Yeah. My agency.
Yeah, agency.
Not just SEO, just marketing in general. So I do
Okay.
ads,
Yeah.
SEO, website creation, all that stuff, and it's just because different companies did need different needs, right? Not just SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization, by the way. If you guys don't know that,
Ooh.
I know it's fancy, right? And usually, SEO agencies target big companies, right?
Yeah,
Like nationwide companies
of
for
course.
that organic search traffic. And I I really want to focus on the Latino side, so more local businesses, right? And like sometimes, and I've worked with a bunch of agencies too. I worked with agencies that deal with local SEO, that deal with nationwide SEO, and or enterprise SEO. And one of the things that is bad in our own community in SEO is that a lot of people get scammed that are local business owners with
Yeah.
SEO,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, yo, how are you charging them like 1,500 or 2 grand for
That's
this like work
crazy.
that I worked on for like 3 hours? Like, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And you know what's more
That's
ridiculous?
scary, dude. What the
Well,
heck?
actually, like, yeah, for a business owner, it's scary, right? But like, you don't know how much money people put into marketing. Like, I also work
Right.
with big global agencies where our clients were like Wendy. They had clients like Wendy's, Coca-Cola,
Right.
the big companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those companies pay up the butt for their
Oh
services,
yeah.
bro.
Oh yeah.
And I've also worked at a startup tech, a fintech company, so which is financial tech. But like, I worked at fintech, and that's a lot of money involved in there, bro. And that to me, like, opened my eyes in terms of like, we were paying this agency like 20 grand a month.
Bro, side note, when you told me like the amount of money that goes into like investing in these big companies,
Yeah,
it is crazy, bro. Because me as a person that just, just goes on their daily life, like would never know that amount of money that people just like the companies invest in. Like
yeah.
nothing, like pocket change. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's like, well, yeah, that was just
They,
like a
they,
side note
they,
that just
dude, no,
mind boggling.
they blow money like crazy. It's ridiculous. Like, and like this is another thing I want to talk about, like, because people don't know this stuff, and I want to let them know
Right.
exactly, how it works. And I can't wait till we talk about like the financial podcast because I have so much I want to
I'm
unload.
down. I know that for sure will be fun. Like I said, we have like so many topics. So like, hopefully, there are people that are listening right now. It's just like, I know it's a little like maybe we're just going to topic, but it's just like we're just kind of excited and like just to talk about everything. There's so much to be said, and
Hmm.
especially like I said, this podcast is mainly to help in any way or just entertain the Hispanic community, the Latino community, and like just talking about life, talking about our experiences
Hmm.
and what we had to learn because, like I said, our parents didn't know any better,
Yeah.
and it's just like how we can maybe just help somebody that's just listening out there, so
Yeah.
like hopefully like people tune in for sure because it'll be definitely a good podcast to listen to.
And you don't have to be Latino to listen to this, to be honest. You can be
Exactly,
any, yeah, just like,
exactly.
because I also want to have a segment of like things you shouldn't say to Latino people. Because
Getting perspective, yeah, and like
yeah, yeah,
different, like
because
just like the culture and stuff.
there's so much, bro. Like honestly, like I don't want
It's
to
so
bash
good.
Americans
It's
or
so
anything like that.
good.
Just 'cause, like, my wife is white, so there you go. I'll lay it out there, so I get a
He
little
has a
pass.
pass. He's got a pass, son.
I got my white card, bro. uh,
Yeah.
no,
Oh
no,
yeah,
but
bro, for
and
sure.
for those of you, I am a coconut. I don't give a crap to call me that. I've been called worse, way worse. And but I was born in Peru. Really, I was born in Mexico.
Best ceviche in
So,
the world.
and I do have a different perspective in growing up in the United States as a Peruvian because there is not a lot of
Yep.
Peruvians in Georgia or in general United States compared
Yep.
to Mexicans.
Oh yeah, especially in Georgia. Well, actually, in Georgia, there is a good amount of Peruvians, though.
It's location specific, only like one location, like more like the Hispanic area where
I
where
got
I
you.
grew up
Yeah, that is
really
true.
wasn't.
Did you taught me a lot about the Peruvian culture, that too, though.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I be catching myself saying like a Peruvian slang, and then my wife be looking at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, it's just. But another topic that also the food, ceviche, Peruvian ceviche is the best ceviche. As a Mexican,
Oh yeah,
I'll
you
give
should have.
you, I'll give it to you. It's like I
Yeah.
love Mexican ceviche, but I don't know, bro. I hit it out of the park. If you haven't tried ceviche or haven't know what it is, look it up. It's so good, especially if you like seafood. The best.
Was it tigre de leche?
Tigre de leche, yeah. I even follow
Yeah.
this one guy on Instagram that he's a chef and he be like cooking these like traditional like Peruvian plates, and it's just like it's everything like papa la huacaína and all that stuff. Oh my gosh,
Damn, bro, you're
so
Peruvian.
good.
So, bro, I actually wanted to go back to the original topic with media stuff, right? Where like when we were first getting started social media,
Yep,
we asked a lot of people for help, like, "Hey, you want to be in the video? You want to be in the video?" Blah blah blah, blah. You know, and
I
no,
do
everybody
remember
said
that.
no. We had like, a lot of
Yes,
no's.
that is true. That bro, that's crazy that you remember that. I don't remember that sort of, but yeah,
I
you're
remember because
right.
I felt salty, bro. I was
A
because
lot of people were always saying that they would be down whenever
yeah,
we would just talk about it, right? At like gatherings. And then when it came down to like, hey, would you be down to come and record with us or whatever? And they're just like, nah, I don't have the time, or nah, I'm good. Or that is true. That is true. You do feel some type of way because you're like, they're your friends. So you would think like, yeah, why not? Yeah, I
well, for
agree.
me, it's like, yo, if you agree to something, follow through, bro. Your word is your bond, right? Your
Yes,
word means
bro.
something.
Ron is about that life. He will call you out if you say if you, if you were gonna do it, and that's what I like about Ron. That's what I like about you, bro. It's just the fact that you always tell me too. Is like, are you sure? Are you 100% sure you could do this? Because if not, then that way I don't waste my time. And sometimes I feel like in the media and industry like that, I think as you go and you learn, like we've learned, is like your word is gold, bro. It's like your
Mhm.
word is like if you say you're gonna do something, you have to do it, bro. It's just like it. If not, it's just like you said, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it's just it sucks because it's like you're depending on that other person to do whatever project or whatever you're trying to accomplish. So
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what sucked more? It's like once we got a little more famous, because you felt famous when you got recognized by little kids, right?
Bro, at a little
Yeah.
party, bro, he walks up to me. He's like, "Are y'all true bro?" Nah, bro. I swear, bro. I feel like Enrique Iglesias or something, bro. I was just like, no pictures, no photo. It was the best feeling, bro. And like I said, right, it was a young kid, and it was just one person, but it was just like, oh, it actually. That's when you realize that the things that you sometimes post do reach people,
Yeah.
right? Even if it's a small amount, it does reach people, and people enjoy it. Like that the little kids were like, "Oh, you're funny, this and that," and it was nice. It was nice to actually to hear that. That you're actually your content or whatever that you're making is being watched. So yeah, it was a fun moment to experience that for sure.
And also, one thing that because I'm a salty bitch, I I enjoyed
Capricorn.
it when we got a little bit of fame. and
Yeah,
people were like, "Oh, can I be your next video? Can I be your next video? Can I be your next video?"
that
I
is
was like,
true.
"Nope."
It's true, bro. Like
Yeah.
people that kind of said no to us first, like we're kind of like, hey, I'm down to make a video if you need, and it is kind of like it's kind of like a backhanded, slap you can say, or I guess like because it's just like where were you when we were kind of like just starting
Mhm.
off, but like I said, I guess I understand at the same time we were all young and we were just kind of doing our own thing, and we for them it was just kind of a waste of time, like
Yeah,
to
but
see like
it was disrespectful though when, like, they say
it, no
yes,
it
and then the day of filming, they say, "Oh, we
yes,
can't make
yeah,
it." Like, "Well,
that
bro."
part, yes, that part for sure. Like I said, if you're gonna say yes and then back out at the end because maybe we definitely needed you because like I said we didn't have that many people to even work with.
Yeah,
So it's just like, okay, like that basically makes everything else like kind of it's like a ripple effect, like everything falls apart
yeah. We
because it's
had to
like now
rewrite
we
the script, we had
ex
on.
yes, yep, I do remember that. I do remember that. Oh
Yeah,
man. So it's just like, like if for the media stuff that we're talking about, like the topic is like if you're starting off, like just, be patient with the people that you're working with or whoever you're asking. It's like they might say no, but don't get discouraged. It's just more of like it's just an opportunity to you to come up with something else. Just like, just keep going. Like a thousand people are gonna say no, right?
yeah,
They're gonna say no. Once you get that one yes, it changes everything. Right? It's like you make your first video, you just keep going, keep going. It's like if you have the resources or if you have the time,
yeah,
definitely just don't get discouraged because only a few views on the first video. Like I said, you never know who's watching.
yeah,
You never know.
and it's also like a learning experience in general because the
It
next time you wanna
is.
do it, you
Oh
know it
my
right away,
gosh,
do it
it
much quicker.
is. It does. It's like muscle memory. Yep. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to our True Latino podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to follow us and all of our social media platforms and stay tuned for all other episodes and topics that we will talk about and discuss. Thank you guys.